Hey folks, my guest today is Rodrig. He's a product manager and designer who discovered no code and low code as a way to build a startup without needing a co-founder. Now he's co-running a low code product studio that's helped launch dozens of successful tech startups. Rodrig, ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Name a couple of tech companies you've helped launch.
It's a good question. One of the most exciting ones is Swap Commerce. They are trying to take over the exchanges, e-commerce exchanges and swaps market in Europe at the moment. And let me think of another.
We've got Radar, WeThink, Mangtas. You've launched a bunch of these companies.
We helped launch them. So
Yep.
we didn't do them all on ourselves. We mainly did the product side, at least for the MVPs. Radar, I say, is a pretty exciting product as well.
Well, so let's talk about Swap, right? They're a software company that make returns an opportunity for growth at e-commerce stores. So how would they engage you, right? Are you building the initial MVP for them and they're paying you a flat fee?
So basically, usually when someone approaches us, they're usually people who are professionals in a specific field, and they usually have an idea, an experience of a pain point that needs, a SaaS that is very niche for just one type of industry. So we had a couple of clients who had consulted a bunch of very large e-commerce brands, and a lot of, the work that they did came to the conclusion that there is a ton of revenue that's missed on when brands don't have the best processes in place for exchanges and returns, because someone might.
Roderick, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I totally understand. I just want to understand for my audience, they might be thinking, I'm a business person. I want to launch a SaaS MVP using no code tools. Where do I start? And they might hire you, but I want you to tell them how they would pay you. Do you get paid in equity? Is it a flat fee? How do you work?
It depends. We do accept equity as well. Mostly it's a flat fee, and not really a flat fee for the whole project. It's a flat fee per sprint. And with startups, after doing a sprint, priorities might change, the roadmap might change, so it is variable based on that.
And give me an example. What would it cost me to pay you to do one of our sprints?
It would be about 6 to 7K per sprint.
Okay, and how long does a sprint last on average?
A couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks. And how do you staff that sprint? Do you have a bunch of engineers you work with and you put them all on, or is it just you?
So depending on the sprint, if it's a discovery sprint, you'll usually be working with a PM and a designer. And then the subsequent sprints, assuming the designer is done and if it's not something too complex, you'll be working with a PM and a developer.
Okay. And so how many PMs and designers and developers do you have on the Revido team?
At the moment, we are 2 PMs, 2 designers, and 3 developers.
Okay. And which one are you?
I dabble between PM and design.
Okay. Very cool. And was this your business? This was your idea? You launched it this year?
I launched it myself initially, got a late co-founder who joined in very early on. So we are 2 co-founders at the moment.
And when did you launch?
Revido was called Upgraded back at the time we started at the end of 2020.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right. So the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise. They sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. Okay, so end of 2020. So you've been operating for about a year and a half at this point, something like that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. And in 2020, how many sprints did you guys work on?
I have no idea, man.
What about 2021?
I can tell you the number of projects approximately.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, so probably around 20 projects, give or take.
20 projects. And on average, how many sprints does a project take?
Probably 8 sprints. Usually the first build will be anywhere from 4 to 5, but people, if the product is successful, they definitely want to iterate.
So someone listening right now, if it's going to take 4 to 5 sprints to get the initial sort of SaaS product launch at 6 to 7K per sprint, we could take 7K times 5 weeks, or about $35,000 to get an MVP live. Is that right?
Yes, for an MVP. Sometimes people just want a prototype, and that can be done in 2 sprints even.
They want to put up a landing page, you said?
No, sometimes people might just want a prototype.
Prototype.
Go to an investor, and that's something that you usually cannot launch. It won't have payments or anything like that. But we've also had those people that want to do that, show it to someone who might be potential customers, and then decide if they actually want to invest more for like perfecting it and getting all the features in for like 2 or 3 months sprints.
Mm-hmm. And how many customers will you work with this year?
It's a good question. So the trend we've started to work with less customers, but bigger customers. And we kind of like that more, as we were able to focus more on them. And this year we actually started trying to launch our own internal products. And we tried that with 3 of them, and one of them is picking up pace. And we're
Which one's that?
It's called Tributo.
Can you spell it?
Yep, I can actually send it here.
Yeah, that'd be great. Tributo. And what does it do?
So Tributo is a productized service, I'd say. So it's not really a SaaS per se, but we have built a platform.
What's the website? Is it .io?
Yep, exactly.
AI assisted copywriting. So this is like Jeeves, copy.ai, that kind of space.
It's using those tools and many more, especially aimed at producing content that can help you rank in SEO, productizing the whole process, basically making it feel like a SaaS where you go in, create an account, pick your plan, submit whatever you want to get, and then automatically, you'll have someone assigned to you get the content that they produce, have an interface where you can add feedback and everything like that. So
Understood. Rodrig, I want to talk more about Tributo, but first back to your agency. So how many customers, again, will you work with this year?
Man, that's a good question. I should have made the calculation so far. We've been very...
I mean, what's the range? This is not a complicated question. Like 5, 10, 20, 100?
So we're working with 6 right now.
Now.
Yeah. We will have, the average length of working with someone will be like 3 months. I'd say probably it will be maybe 30 by the end of the year. If
Yep.
we get small projects, if we get big projects, might stay at 20.
Well, so if you work with 30 customers and they pay on average $35,000, right? So 4 or 5 sprints, right? That would put you right at around $1 million of revenue this year. Is that about right?
It sounds about right. Yeah.
So
Maybe
you'll do more. You'll do more than $1 million in revenue this year.
I don't think it will be more than 1 million. Probably around 9K in total.
800,
Probably 900.
900. That's
And
still great.
the numbers I'm giving you, I definitely need to look at them. It's guesstimates on top of my head right now.
Well, yeah, but come on. You're a founder. This is dollars, revenue, cash and bank. It's the only, I mean, this is what keeps you alive, right? So somewhere between 800,000 and $1 million in revenue this year is fair, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is great. So I love this story. So you have an agency, it's doing well, you're sort of a product studio, but then you're saying, hey, we built our own tool. And then you said, quote, it's starting to take off. What does take off mean for Tributo? Is that a revenue figure?
Yeah, basically it's a revenue figure. We've had, so without doing a proper launch, this is actually the first time I'm talking in public about it. We've only mentioned the tool to people in our network that we know who have startups and need content help. And we already have 5 large clients.
Mm-hmm.
And by large clients, I mean, people who need like 40 articles per month, which it's at the very beginning, but for something.
What do you charge for someone that uses Tributo for 40 articles a month?
1,200 a month.
1,200?
Yeah.
So we can take 1,200 times 5 customers. You're doing about $6,000 a month right now in revenue on Tributo?
No, because a few of them, we're doing it for free in exchange for feedback. And we do have, intention from them to pay afterwards when it's going well.
Is anyone paying already?
Yeah.
How many of the 5 are paying?
2.
Okay, so $2,400 a month in revenue. That's still nice.
Yeah, it's a much better progression than what we had with Tributo to begin with.
Yeah. So are you going to shut down the product studio and go all in on Tributo?
Definitely not. One of our most talented people here is actually focusing fully on that. And having all the talent within the studio is really helpful to spin up new solutions, new integrations, or anything that can make it that can help Tributo to be more efficient.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. This is great. Now you've bootstrapped both Rivido and Tributo, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's all. Any plans to raise, or you want to stay bootstrapped?
Probably not. We do like to not have any external pressure and have the freedom to do what we think is the best thing to do and the right thing to do.
That's awesome. And you mentioned 2 PMs, 2 designers, 3 developers. So you've got 7 people total on the team today?
Yeah.
Okay, 7. Very cool. Are you hiring or no? You're good at 7.
We're actually onboarding someone right now, and we do want to focus on making our processes even better before hiring them. So probably not in the next month or so. Cool.
Well, hey, we're rooting for you, man. In the meantime, though, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
High Output Management.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
It's a great question. I used to be a great fan of Steve Jobs when I was very, very young. Yeah, maybe.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building Rivido or Tributo?
Bubble.io.
A bottle?
No, Bubble.io.
Oh, Bubble. Yeah. Good no-code platform. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Sorry?
How many hours of sleep?
7 to 8.
Okay. And situation, married, single, kids?
Single.
Okay. And how old are you?
24.
24. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Man, start earlier.
Guys, there you have it. Start earlier. He launched his product studio, Rivido.io, in 2020. He'll do between 800,000 and $1 million in revenue there this year across 30 customers. He charges $4,000 to $7,000 or $4,000 to $5,000 per sprint he manages. He's got a team of 7 or 8 folks right now, but they built their own internal tool called Tributo, which already has $2,000 a month in revenue. That's sort of in the Jarvis and AI and copywriting space. 5 customers using it today, doing 40 articles on average per month. They're going to lean into that, keep growing it, and see what happens next. Totally bootstrapped. Rodrig, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thanks, Ethan.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.